do an overdrive for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes here before we go to rebroadcast. Might as well just go back to 4 hours every day. Amazing that I'm so out of control. I've got all these special reports I've got to shoot tonight and a bunch of other stuff we're doing with working on hiring more reporters. And it's all because you've been supporting us out there. I salute you. I want to thank you. You've also got DrudgeReport.com. We want to just thank Drudge for helping push the Bullet story out to be one of the big stories out there. They're buying 360 million more bullets on top of that. We're going to be breaking that down. But Mike in Tennessee, a WMQM 1600 AM listener, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. Two quick questions. First of all, how soon before someone walks into a bank and says, this is a haircut, give me all the money?
Well, actually, I've seen the editorial cartoons where you go up to the bank window and they aim a gun at you and say, but no, that's not a stick-up when the bank just says 40% of your money's gone. That's liberal and loving and good. And if you don't like it, you're an extremist, because the Southern Poverty Law Center and ADL say the Federal Reserve is federal, even though it's admittedly private. And I can play Greenspan saying that. It isn't. Are you a terrorist, sir? Because knowing how to walk and chew gum is terrorism. Knowing how to tie your shoelaces. Quite frankly, if you know how to wipe your hind end, sir, you're a terrorist. Did you figure that out? The public schools now teach 2 + 2 = 5, okay? I mean, literally. They now teach that, I mean, you're evil. Are you saying 2 + 2 = 4? Because that's racist.
Is Joel still on the line, or is he hopped off?
No, he had to go. He had to go. Go ahead.
If you can share this with him, ask him, was this Glassair RG a Chuck Hooper built plane, and was his tail number, did it start with CG? And if it did, you need to get back with me. I probably can help him figure out what happened to it.
Guys, pull up that video of his plane. See if the tail number has CG in it.
It would start off with CG. I've got relatives who's a manufacturer of those planes. They didn't make a lot of them. And if he's got one, I bet you his fuel filler cap vent was clogged.
Well, it's amazing he didn't get hurt worse.
Well, they're in a very quick aircraft. Everything happens very quickly with that plane, and they're very critical. Little things make big changes real quickly, and he is very fortunate.
He certainly is. You think he was smart to take the plane in fast?
Yes, definitely. Yes, that's, hit the ground and slide on your butt is probably the safest thing he could have done.
Wow. Well, listen, I really appreciate you coming on with us as a caller. Good to hear from you. Let's talk to Scott in Arizona. Scott, you're on the air. Go ahead. All righty. Scott, you want to go on air? Are you there? All right, we're going to go to break here in a few minutes. We're going to come back with Jake in Texas, who's an XM 166 listener, and then we're going to go to Jock in California. That'll be it for calls that I have time for here today, because I want to hit on some other news items that I have not even gotten to yet. But I was just speaking about, again, you're brought up, my parents fiscally conservative, but when it came to like race issues and things, liberal. Because, kumbaya Christian stuff. And again, the globalists want divide and conquer, but then you have Michael Moore coming out saying 90% of guns are owned by scared white people. We're going to play that clip when we come back. That just shows, of course, that's not true. 90% of guns are not owned by white people. I actually went and looked up the best statistics they think, and something around 60% of guns are owned by white people, because 60% of people above about the age of 30 or so are white. So it's pure lies. But now, see, it's a racial issue. Turn your guns in, or evil whitey. Evil whitey. Gun owners are racist. The NRA is racist. When the NRA was a Republican group founded after the Civil War to train Northerners how to shoot better, because they weren't growing up around guns. Most of them were immigrants. Alex Jones here with a message that could revolutionize health in this country. Going back about 1.5 years ago, I began to learn about the incredible health effects of longevity products. Aaron Dykes lost 92 pounds. We're going to show you some before and afters. Aaron, break down what happened, your story.
I've worked really hard with diet and exercise to try to lose weight, but I just didn't get the results. It just didn't happen. Then I saw what you were doing with InfoWarsTeam.com. I wasn't even trying to lose weight, but I got it because I wanted to feel better energy. I wanted that nutrition. Didn't even understand how that could kickstart my own weight loss goals, but the products did that for me. I found myself suddenly losing weight, more energetic, wanting to exercise, wanting to eat the right foods.
And they don't even advertise it as weight loss. I want to challenge our radio listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com, sign up as a distributor, and get wholesale pricing discounts at InfoWarsTeam.com. Okay, this is breaking news up at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com by Steve Watson. Video, hundreds of DHS armored trucks on the move, more footage of military vehicles being delivered, services online. They've admittedly bought 2,700 more this year, and we have videos of DHS, HSI, Homeland Security, with the armored vehicles patrolling in America. With the armored vehicles patrolling in America, which they admit they're patrolling in America. But when we talk about it, they say they don't exist, and then point out that some of the same vehicles are delivered to the Marines and the Army for overseas use to kind of confuse everybody. You see, and they'll do that as long as they can just to make it a debate about does it exist, instead of having the debate about why are you militarizing police that's no secret. It's no secret police departments in your town. I mean, everybody's seen it in the local paper where they get the different armored vehicles. Some of them six-wheeled, some of them four-wheeled. But they're getting these really heavy ones now that are being deployed. And I've talked to military. I've been sent video. They've got regular tanks cached at many armories. So we can punch this up here on screen for TV viewers. If not radio listeners, just go to Infowars.com and you can see a link to some of the YouTube videos that show these heavy armored trucks, and it breaks down where the MRAP trucks are going to. There's also Bradley fighting vehicles painted up from the camo, desert camo, to the camo for here in the United States, and they've got all sorts of bulldozers and just you name it with them. Super Creepville. And also, if you go to drudgereport.com, you can see the big story about 360 million more bullets. 360 million more bullets. Here's another headline. Southern California seeks drone zone. And again, they'll just condition you that it's for the border, which they leave wide open, and then over time deploy it everywhere. And then right there, 50-point swing on targeted drone killings of U.S. citizens. And let's see what that article's about up at Drudge. I haven't even seen this yet. This just broke. And that's out of Slate. 50-point swing against targeted drone killings of U.S. Citizens. A year ago, as the presidential race was taking shape, the Washington Post pollster asked voters whether they favored the use of drones to kill terrorists or terrorist suspects if they were American citizens living in other countries. The net rating at the time was a positive 65% for 26% firmly against. Today, after a month of Rand Paul-driven discussion, how about DrudgeReport.com driven and Infowars.com driven? I'm not taking credit away from Rand Paul. It's just, we've been the ones pointing this out in the wilderness, and I'm just showing the power of our listeners. And Drudge Reports, of course, has driven it way over the top. Today, after a month of Rand Paul-driven discussion on drone warfare, Gallup poll asked the same question. Should U.S. drones be used to launch airstrikes in other countries against U.S. citizens living abroad who are suspected terrorists? Suspected, you notice. New numbers, 41%. For, 52% against. So there's been a massive, basically a swing the other direction. So, and of course, Gallup is always whitewashing things, and I'm sure it's way more serious than that. Most people I know understand drones are very, very serious because they also get their robotic. There's something even colder about the fact that it's a robot, and more they are autonomous. And then again, DHS to buy 360 million more rounds of hollow point ammunition, and then they say it's for target practice when you don't use hollow points in target practicing, period, end of story. They cost up to 4 times as more as Full Metal Jacket. And now they're buying over 100 different types of weird ammo that no feds use and the military doesn't use. I mean, everything from 3A to, 7mm mag to 38 special. I mean, they're just buying it all. They've got it bought out years. They can't even manufacture it fast enough. I want to know why manufacturers aren't creating a coalition to sell to citizens and to say, we're not selling to the feds. There's already some coalitions saying, it's very large, saying we're not going to sell guns to departments that are anti-gun. Man, it's a big deal that we've dropped the crime rate 49% since 1991. That's the latest numbers, is 91 to 2011. 20-year official FBI, local numbers, very accurate, the world standard in statistics. You can say a lot about J. Edgar Hoover, but he did get statistics down. He was obsessed with it. He pretty much launched the modern science of statistics that actually codified off local numbers. And it's a 49 whopper. 49 whopper. I mean, criminals are scared. And then they say, well, you don't need semi-auto to protect yourself from criminals. I saw a video online that we're going to play on the Nightly News tonight. I'm going to add some updates to it where, the top 10, robbers shot. And it shows robbers running in actually shooting people. They get shot. And you need semi-auto. The robbers have semi-auto. Hey, police, if we don't need semi-auto to protect ourselves, we just need a double-barrel shotgun. I got an idea for you. You don't need semi-auto either. I am now for gun control. Just like Jesse Ventura said, you turn your guns in now. You turn your guns in now. You turn your guns in. Government, you turn in all the semi-autos, and you turn in the bullets, and you turn in the armored vehicles and the drones and the body armor. I mean, what do you need that for? Because you don't need those to protect yourself defensively. Of course, that's not true, actually. You need semi-auto. They fetishize full auto. You don't need that because it spray your whole clip and it doesn't hit what you're aiming at. You need semi-auto for target acquisition and the whole 9 yards. You got an enemy with semi-auto. The criminals will always have semi-auto. And I know you know this as gun owners. The general public doesn't know it. Okay, and they're going to ban our guns. They're coming. They're going to stage more Sandy Hooks. I mean, folks, let me tell you, they staged all these things. I've looked at them now. I mean, they are a bunch of murderers. When you see those gun confiscation people on TV, a lot of them licking their lips going, too bad Harry Reid's kids aren't, grandkids aren't dead and all this, and let's show the dead kids and all this. You're looking at some monsters. Let me tell you, a lot of them are in on the fact, okay? They know full well. This is about, they're not trying to get your guns because they really care about kids. These are monster authoritarian scum, okay? Anybody wants your guns, they want to dominate you and your family, and you know it. Let's go to Michael Moore, speaking of a disgusting pig-like creature. His soul is pig-like, not because he's obese and looks like that's mean to pigs. This is a guy who has 5 to 6 bodyguards armed, owns guns, his people have been arrested having guns in illegal areas. This pig, this maggot, this hypocritical blob who works for the globalists and the tyrants, who poses as a liberal, this authoritarian scumbag enemy of humanity, okay? This guy says it's basically racist to own guns. Scared white people. I mean, you are such a piece of garbage trying to create racial division as best you can. Let's go ahead and go to the pig, the garbage, the filth, the words do not describe, the degeneracy and the lyrical evil of this viper. Here is Michael Moore.
You realize that over 90% of the guns in this country are owned by white people in the suburbs and in rural areas. 90% of our guns are not owned by African Americans, Hispanics, minority groups. They're owned by white people. What are these white people so afraid of out in the suburbs? Are they thinking little redhead, freckle-faced Jimmy down the street is going to, kill them, mug them?
Actually, they are.
I don't think so.
But I mean, there it is. You are inherently bad if you've got $50,000 a year. That's the new rich. If you've saved 100,000 euros, that in Europe, I mean, it's so expensive in Europe, that's like having $30,000 saved on average. Imagine, if you save your whole life of $30,000 so you could retire for 1 year, you need $1 million now to really retire comfortably and, say, live 15 years. Of course, now they're saying you can't retire till you're 80 or something. Okay? So if you look at all of this and you break all this down, what is Michael Moore saying? He's saying that it is inherently bad, A, to be white and to live in the suburbs and have $50,000, $60,000 a year and that you're racist because you don't want someone to expropriate your wealth and rob you. And by the way, let me tell you something. Living out in the country, if there are mainly, quote, white people in your area, you're worried about white people breaking in your house or anybody. I mean, I don't talk to anybody who goes, I've got guns because I'm worried black people are going to come out here and rob us. You know, actually in the country, it'll be like meth head hillbillies that rob your house. And now, if I was in a predominantly black neighborhood, say Harlem, that has a high crime rate on black and white, doesn't matter, then I might statistically be scared of guys that look like criminals who happen to be black. Just like if I pulled up and saw hillbilly-type meth heads, you know, with the big mullets running out of my garage, you know, throwing something back in a truck, I'd say, oh, they're robbing my house. I mean, you could tell trashy people, period. But see, everything is racial. You're not allowed to try to move out of the Agenda 21 cities and have a garden and have some chickens and have a shotgun. You're not allowed to. You're inherently bad because you're white. And you have now moved out to the countryside. You're scared, racist white people because you don't want to live in the wonderland like Detroit that big government creates. We're going to skip this network break here. Let's go ahead and talk to Jake, listening on XM 166. Go ahead, Jake. You're on the air. Thanks for holding.
A little bit, think about a few things, and maybe, you know, answer some of my questions. Have you ever looked into the hierarchy of the world, i.e. Rothschilds and the Illuminati, into what they actually believe, and the Satanist beliefs that they have being that Gnosticism?
Sure, they're not Satanists. Satanists are kind of their minions. They're Luciferians.
Right. Have you ever looked into Gnosticism and the beliefs held by Gnostics? I know it's not a belief that we see a lot.
No, I've studied it. I've studied it. It's a very diverse group, but I have looked into it, yes. I
mean, the hierarchy and the Masonry, in which I belong to, and which I rejected, is all about Gnosticism. And the further you go up into that, it is essentially controlled by Satan, and it's just a misinterpretation of the Bible when adding different parts.
Sure, they believe Lucifer is God, and Jesus is the devil.
Absolutely, that's absolutely right. And a belief of another god named Sophia as well. But those hierarchy and the Rothschilds and all those people have this skewed view of the way religion is held and the beliefs that they have in the Gnosticism.
Well, they also believe they're bringing balance to everything, and so killing us is good because we deserve to be killed because we're profane, ugly, and bad. But then they do everything they can to make us ugly and dumb down and fighting with each other as a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's really done from a position of weakness.
Absolutely, you're absolutely correct. That's what the devil would want to do. I mean, I know that not all your listeners are Christian, but just think about the evil, inherently evil in these people's mind, that they want to control us and to kill us.
The government is on record doing tens of thousands of operations, some of which had thousands of operations in it. Everybody knows about Tuskegee and syphilis, giving it to black men, and that's terrible. But, I mean, it's radiating foster kids, nerve-gassing U.S. troops, bioweaponing. I mean, we are animals to them. And then I've shot a YouTube video about it, and there are lazy people on there going, show me where they gave black men syphilis. I mean, there's just... It'd be like, show me Washington, D.C., and that the Washington Monument exists. It's like, you know, it's like they wear their ignorance as a shield, but it doesn't protect them. God bless you. Good to hear from you. Let's go to Jock, listening on the audio streams at Infowars.com. You're on the air, sir.
Alex, great interview with Billy Corgan.
Yeah, I mean, I think that interview is really powerful and very important.
What do you think about a victories column on the Infowars homepage?
I agree. I have already said about 10 times, and not that my crew isn't working hard, but I want to get an activist section, not just on planetinfowars.com, but on the front page, an activist section and a victory section, a good news section and a action section. And we're going to add those. Yes, sir. In fact, I'm going to write that down right now. Go ahead.
What do you think about, you know, the psychology of bullying? Obviously, from the schoolyard, we know there's just one way to stop a bully, and that's to resist him. But one way to resist is to laugh at them. And I think that your videos that you post where you make fun of the bullies, those are the ones that get you in trouble with YouTube.
Yes, anytime myself or Mike Adams do that, and there's nothing that breaks YouTube's rules, they ban them. They really hate being powerfully made fun of and made to look weak like they are. The globalists all try to have extra power because they're scared deep down, and they have this narcissistic image of themselves as this thing they aren't really. That's why the power trip happens. Like, someone with real power who's not evil is embarrassed to exercise it. And is embarrassed to use it even when someone deserves to have it used on them. And that's why we're in this strait. Good, powerful people do not ever manifest their power because they think it's arrogant to manifest it. Well, you know what? If you don't manifest the power God gave you, you will be enslaved by the cancerous globalist.
Well, you can see how people like Dick Cheney love it when you come up to them and ask them their serious opinion on this serious political issue. We shouldn't be asking them anything. We should be laughing at them because their opinions don't matter.
Well, that's right. That's why one lady was crying, the head producer, the other was red in the face. Men had their fist ready. And I just said, you're all just agents. You're pathetic. And then when I wasn't scared of the men bowing up to me and saying, get out of here, when I said, oh, you're pathetic little minion, you don't have what it takes to do something to me. You're just posturing. They all looked totally freaked out. And the men all went from going like this to like, because I walked right into their little, I wish I would have done more. I walked right into their little dungeon and just said, this is all fake. It's all garbage. And it shook them up. And not that I did something that great either. In fact, I made the mistake of even trying to give him facts and debate him at all. Because, I should have really hammered down his butt and said, it's about making us slaves. They've taken all the guns everywhere you globalists are in control. I got into some of that. But when I watched Dianne Feinstein going, we're going to get these bills passed, if not this year, the next, because there will be more incidents. And she smiles for just a minute and her tongue flicks. It's like, I can't even do the demonic face. It's, we're going to get what we want soon enough. Oh, yeah. Oh, right now it's all being planned. And, man, it's hard to look at these people and know who they are. That's why I get mad at minions who I know aren't evil, like the Austin police chief, who is going and selling out to this because he's just doing it for power down the road. And, and privately has admitted, oh, I know this stuff's all crazy. And either he's a psychopath liar or he's a little minion who isn't an evil guy, but he's selling out to the whole deal. Oh, you guys found the video where she talks about there will be more incidences and smiles? Yeah. Okay, thank you for the call, sir. Let's cue that right up to the point. But again, the eyes smile like, hey, you think we're not getting your guns? We are. And even if it wakes us up, they don't care because it's about that domination. They want that war with us. They're not going to be the ones dying like the police and military. Soon they're going to have robots. All they care about, even if it happens after they're dead, is that good people be tortured and destroyed. And before they can do that, before demons like Michael Moore can have his communist ways with us in his re-education camps, and, all of his evil, you heard him, the guy worth $50 million, $100 million, and maybe more, going, people with $60,000 are bad. Bad white people with money. What he wants is to eat them. What he wants is just his big belly to lay it on him spiritually like Jabba and just squat on you with all his SWAT teams and armaments and have his bodyguards beat you up. I am the blob. I am the king. I am your royal. I plant the flag of pus and diarrhea that is the scumbag Michael Moore on the planet. I'm sorry. That's what he is. I got to stop it, ladies and gentlemen. Here is Dianne Feinstein relishing in her eyes, relishing future incidents and her victory over America. Here it is.
But I also know that these events are going to continue. And America has to step up.
Do you see that?
The mothers,
back it up
the
and
women,
pause it right on
the
there.
men of America.
I mean, boy, her entity that's in control of her comes right through right there. I mean, look at that. It's just like, I'm going, there will be more. You'd know, wouldn't you, Miss Fast and Furious? Oh, yeah. Oh, baby cakes. I know it's hard to pause the video because it moves back and forth. Just pause it right on the smile. She goes, there will be more. And then she smiles. A little bit more. Look at those eyes. See, what I do is when I think about how evil they are, I kind of just, as somebody who can almost like stream what I'm seeing, that's the feeling of it. It's like, listen, I have the savage will. There will be more incidents. So I bet more people on DARPA payrolls. Huh? More people you have to drug up for trial, witchy poo. Oh, look at her. America is hers. It's all hers. It's all hers. You know, I think Melissa Melton made this graphic of her as like Elvira. But see, that's not scary enough. No, just the real person. Look at the eyes there. And look at how the eyebrows smiled. The eyebrows smiled. There will be more incidents. And that brings a smile to your face, doesn't it, Toots? Oh, yeah. And take your shots. Dianne Feinstein wants you to have a fun cancer. Oh, what a sweetie cake. What a sweetie pie. Yeah, no need to demonize her. Just show her. Talks about dead kids. Talks about how there will be more. And if that doesn't bring a smile to your face when you're a demon, I mean, it's a satisfaction for her. And she's like, I've seen the dead bodies of the children. I saw her smile on another TV show. She came in and she fights it back. Oh, dead kids. Oh, me. I mean, it is just so hard for her. There will be more dead kids. I'm real sad about that. Yeah. I've got a concealed carry. I've got bodyguards. I came to Congress, you know, not even worth $1 million, and now over $100 million. I'm Dianne Feinstein. I dominate you, and you lay down and take it. I am your king. I am your royalty. I am your God. I am the witch of hell. Oh, and I just sit there in an infantile way calling Michael Moore names. It's just that he's such a holy, demonic, nasty creature who knows he's authoritarian and knows he will break your will. He will take this country, he will take your tax money, and he will build armaments against you. And he will take everything you've got. You evil white people, you heard him. There's nothing worse than a white person living in the country. He's going to get you good. Take your shots. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.